Ladies and ladies, welcome back to Things Your Mother Never Told You. My name is Diana de Lange, and from time to time, I take the mic and interview Dr. Amanda with the questions that no one else dares to ask.
That's very true.
We are in for a treat today because in this episode, we are going to talk about what we called a beauty absurd. We feel like cosmetic industry is getting out of control and it gets harder and harder to stay immune to the scary things that beauty industry and beauty cult is making us do. So we're here to talk about some of the most bizarre things that beauty industry is currently offering. We're going to toss ideas around. We do not recommend you following any of those advices or purchasing any of those products. And quite frankly, we think that those ideas are pretty damaging and those products are harming for our bodies, our self-esteem, and everything that has to do with womanhood. So, all right.
Such a good intro.
Well, I feel like this subject has been around between us for the past several years.
We share a lot of this insanity back and forth when we see it.
Yeah. What comes to your mind when I say beauty absurd?
What seems most absurd to me, I mean, there is a huge list and a variety of them. Where do I begin? I think one of the most absurd things that I just learned about very recently, and I don't even know the name of it, so I can't speak to the specific name. I don't believe it's been approved here yet in the US, but it's probably on its way. Assured Resource, who is on the in on all of this, who has informed me that she has gotten access to corpse cells that can be injected into the face to create collagen production. And it's being marketed as less invasive than Botox or fillers because it's human. It's just from a dead person taking their cells, I think it's stem cells, and injecting it into your face that helps to establish more collagen production. And it lasts for a period of time, then you have to keep having it done. But everyone's marking is like the safer alternative.
I thought that collagen has everything to do with that vitality and with that revitalization, but you literally taking cells of the dead body of some grandma or some dude.
Yeah.
Someone who is not even alive anymore. And so we're willing to inject cells of a dead person to look younger.
Yeah, and I think the justification that somebody said is like, what's the difference with like if you need a kidney transplant or a liver transplant or a heart replaced, you would do that. Like this is really no different. Like,
it is very different.
I'm thinking there's one difference is in regards to like your body literally shutting down and not functioning, and another in the name of what? The name of like chasing this eternal fountain of youth. So yeah, that's the one that I've heard most recently, and I remember thinking, I'm all about energy. And even after we, host events, like I'm saging everything and I'm like cleaning the energy, and I'm thinking, okay, so we're taking cells of dead people, and there's something about the face to me. Oh my gosh, like I can't even imagine. And we're injecting them into our face with the hopes of having skin that looks more plump and more youthful and has more vitality to it. So that is a new one. You and I know I must receive less lately, which is really refreshing, probably only maybe 10 a week now. But they were like 10 a day for a while. But because of some of the responses I think that I've sent back, and also because I don't ever stand by any of these brands you can see in my social media feed, I think they've realized like, oh, we can't go there. But I remember one being this device, it was called the Kitty or something, some device that a woman inserts for a certain amount of time into her vaginal canal, and it sends like electrodes and stimulation to that area to produce more plumpness and more lubrication. And I'm thinking, well, there's like a million and one other natural ways to do that.
It was something for making it tighter, right?
And for tightening it, yeah. And I just asked someone recently who runs a med spa in Miami, because I'm always fascinated by this, what is one of the biggest procedures you're doing right now? Like what is happening here? And she said, actually, one of the hottest trends the last several months for her, at least in Miami, has been women, even very young women and women of all ages, getting their vaginal lips injected with filler to create a more plump appearance and a plumper experience for the intercourse, insertion, whatever is happening there. I don't exactly know, but I am like, I just cannot fathom in any world in which anyone, first of all, is putting a needle in my vaginal area, first of all, the tenderness of that tissue and this idea of going back to like prepubescent. I'm confused what's happening.
That's not even the case. I've never had anyone complaining about that
In my life.
In my life.
I mean, not that
It's
I've
not
had
like-
like a million partners, but nonetheless, ever.
Imagine, getting ready for that hot moment, taking
like
your
lips.
panties off, and the person says, "Yo, this is." I don't know if I can do this. If this is not like
Start
plump
talking?
enough. Like now we have cheeks on both ends.
I don't know. What's
Why?
happening. It is the furthest thing from my imagination. And I'm 52 and I'm like already going through the menopause and a lot of things changing, right? And that couldn't be further from anything I've ever considered in my life or would ever consider. Yeah. So I think, and then we have the, what do we have? The pillowcases that they have something in them that if you're start to lay on your side, like it will do something to put you back on your back. But these were marketed, I know there's many of them, but this one that came to me was marketed as preserving chest wrinkles and face wrinkles.
Oh, now we have to worry about those.
It was a specific one. It's like in like a pale pink you can get, or like lavender. And it was a pillowcase that would get you back on your back. So because if you lay on your side, which is my favorite way to sleep, that you'll have too many face wrinkles and you'll create chest wrinkles. So this pillowcase, thankfully, will get you to get back on your back. So even when you're trying to sleep and nourish, you will be reminded that beauty at all costs. Let me wake you up and remind you, get on your back because God forbid a woman have a wrinkle on her face or her chest.
That is disgusting. That is disgusting. To what end, right? What can a woman feel inside to make a decision to be so violent with her own body and to create that invasion into the most vulnerable places and spaces of her one and only temple to please who?
I know women who've had their anuses bleached so that the skin around their anus isn't as brown.
How does it even come to their... Somebody complains about it?
Porn industry. Where it's a standard for most girls in the porn industry that they have that bleached.
How much do you have to feel as an object, or how much do you have to feel as...
Well, let's just talk about that. That's really what I think is so sad to me and so vile, is the level of self-objectification that you've internalized, the level of self-disgust you've internalized, often based on porn culture, right? I have more clients than I would like to admit who have walked in on partners masturbating to not just women, but to videos of young girls. And I think when that sickness pervades a culture, as we're seeing, then the expectations of a woman to forever remain looking like she's about 15 or 16 speaks to a very, very perverse situation that we're in. And we, as women, are complicit as long as we fall for that bullshit. Because I don't know about you, but I have zero interest looking like a prepubescent girl. I am a woman. I am a woman who has earned every line, every wrinkle, every brown anus, whatever's going on. And brown anus society. I mean, I'm not about to become this virginal looking statue. I'm sorry. Never imagined that was going to come out of the Midlife Muse.
I love it. I mean, me with my vagina masks as an example of beauty are just...
You wear vagina masks?
Have you? I don't. Are you like?
I thought
come
you said
on.
me and my vagina masks.
Have you ever heard? So
I don't even do facial masks
I
other
know.
than when I'm with you, let alone now I'm going to put it on my vag.
Can you imagine? Now they have ass cheeks masks, and now they have vagina masks.
I'm so over it.
That's something
I'm
that
really
like,
frustrated
How
now.
do you wear it? Like you have to lay with your like legs spread for a while. Like What do we? I don't know. This is
Wow,
so.
it never
yeah.
ends. It really.
It just doesn't. Yeah.
And there's probably a lot I don't even know about because I'm so far removed from that world and that culture, and I don't subscribe to or scroll on places where a lot of these things are talked about, like TikTok or whatever. I'm sure if we really, you and I could spend an entire day deep diving, we would find stuff that is just, I'm sure we didn't even know existed.
No, for sure, for sure. One of the most terrifying things I've heard is that a lot of ladies who give birth under anesthesia
Oh,
immediately go into this mommy makeover,
the BBL.
the BBL, while they're still under anesthesia from giving birth to their child. So instead of attending that little baby, they are going for most invasive, one of the most dangerous, absolutely unnecessary procedures because...
They're married to sick men.
I agree.
Let's just say that.
I agree.
I want to stop beating around the bush,
Yeah.
no pun intended, because I know a lot of women are removing that, and I'm fascinated. Like, wow, if a man is attracted to you being completely bald down there, that's equivalent to him being attracted to a little girl.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, last time I checked, women have hair. And so for me, I want to just name it. Like, you're married to a pervert. You are married, if everything has to look that way, you're married to a perv, and you are probably going to inevitably catch him really addicted to porn. Because if you have to contort yourself and look like a hairless, constantly plump, constantly tight, constantly inflated, constantly no wrinkles, you're married to a pervert, and you're complicit to it. I'm sorry, we just have, like, at some point, until women call bullshit on this, it's going to keep happening. And how sad for all those little babies who need, like, the bonding of a mother.
Most pivotal moment.
And we wonder why, like, society just falls apart because we keep letting men dictate the course and we comply and are like, okay, I'll look 15 forever. I will forever be youthful. And I really think for a lot of women, it's like, yeah, but that's how I'll secure myself. And that's how I'll get the sugar daddy. And I've heard women say things like this, but there's always a price to pay. There's always a transactional element of it. And for some women, I think that they're very happy to do that. But just don't be surprised when you're like miserable or you catch him with a younger woman. I mean, I've worked with women who constantly, they go under the knife for, every couple of years, every 4 to 5 years for massive procedures because their husband has an addiction to the youthfulness. And they are have this death grip on wanting to hold on to that. The minute my husband would ever, that would be the moment our marriage would be over. I'm very clear on that. I have no interest in looking a day younger than I am. I like to take care of myself. Yes. Even sometimes it's a little questionable because people are always like, what's your skincare routine? I'm like, I don't wash my face before I go to bed. I don't necessarily recommend that, but I don't wash my face before I go to bed because I don't wear foundation.
Right.
I don't wear things on my face. I put some mascara, some eyeliner, and some lip gloss on. So people could say, oh, we'll wash away the day. I don't know. My days are pretty damn good. I don't know if I need to wash them away. So, but yeah, I have a very unique perspective of how I look at this. And I think that's part of why I'm just so unbothered by it. I'm so unbothered by it because I see it for exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. And when you see it for what it is, I would feel insanely foolish to ever partake in it.
I agree with you. And I also feel like the question that comes up is who do they actually love? Do they love the person? Do they love the whole
That's not
picture?
love.
Right. That's the thing. Or do they love themselves while using a certain object and while this specific person fits into that object, right? Mm-hmm. So that doesn't feel like love at all. You're right.
Nothing about that feels beautiful and safe and sacred to me.
No.
And some people aren't into that. Some people are into like super transactional relrelationships,
Yeah.
and to each their own. But I do think some of these things are just so hilarious. I received a couple this morning, and I didn't even. It was just I saw the headline. I'm like delete. But I do also get a lot around all kinds of diets and like face rollers and face masks, like the LED or something, all kinds
Red
of
light
stuff.
and stuff.
Yeah, it's just I am so thankful to not be a part of that world. I can't imagine. It must be like this never ending.
Absolutely. Of course.
It's like an abyss to me.
Of course, because it's not about the best interest of women. It's about profits. And it's about something that removes women's right for humanity of their own bodies, of their own existence, from their hands. You're not allowed to be a human being, and you are supposed to serve as a function, as an object. Forget about your dreams, feelings, and desires, and focus on what would please someone who decided not to develop any a day longer and stay in the state of a little boy who demands certain things. That's so unattractive.
You know what's so funny is I just had a memory flashback when I was teaching a workshop many years ago, and the conversation came up about the shame women carry around their bodies. And I said, well, for example, let's think about the average, store that you come into, CVS or Walgreens or any of these, Boots. You go in and there are endless shelves of all of the things that women can do to douche, and sprays and scented wipes and all of these things, which disturb the pH levels and create bacterial infections, yeast infections, on and on, all the things. And how many times when you've been in those stores and you see the endless messaging that you smell, do something, how many times have you seen, or how many products rather, have you seen comparatively that talk about cleaning up the ball sack? Like that sweaty situation there, or that stank. And I'm like...
Preferably making it smell like roses, ever.
Right, or a fresh garden, right? Or I don't know what, but...
The meadow of Eden.
Yes, to which they all responded like, yeah, no kidding, I never thought of that. So one of my clients was so outraged by it that she was in one of those stores grabbing some item for something, and it came to her mind, this was like a week or two later, so she went looking down that aisle, and she remembered that she had a stack of Post-it notes in her car from something else. She ran out to her car, and endlessly, she sent a picture to me. She put Post-it notes everywhere. She's like, where's the ball wash? Where's the scrotum wash? And she just like littered the shelves with these and sent it to me. And I almost fell off my chair. I was laughing so hard. And she's like, it was just my moment. It was my moment to like put it back and like into people's faces. And I'm sure those got ripped down moments later when somebody... Yes. She's like, if even one woman walked down that aisle and thought, oh yeah, no kidding. Where is all of the hygienic wash for men's private parts and areas?
When I was studying marketing and sales, one of the workshops was teaching us that to sell to a man, you have to praise him. To tell a woman, you have to say, wow, you're like, oh,
yourself
man.
Go.
Yeah, this is so... The moment you criticize a woman, she will be willing to buy whatever fix. And the absurd of it has no limits. And interestingly enough, I remember that story between you and I, because when I came around, I was clueless. I had no idea about what patriarchy is and what is our current life is like as women. I never analyzed that. I had no language around it.
Sorry.
Things, but
no, you can't unsee
no,
it.
that's great. Thank you so much. I would prefer that because...
there should be a big, huge caution sign to getting in proximity with me, because I help people see things they'd never seen before, and then you can't.
You can't unsee it. Like you see the world completely differently. So we were at your apartment and we were filming first batch of content, I think, and you said, yeah, all of those pussy washes with rose smells. And I looked at you and I'm like, but what is wrong with that? And you looked at me and you said, Diana, your pussy is not supposed to smell like roses. And I'm like, huh? And you said, yeah, it's okay that your pussy smells like pussy. That's what it's supposed to smell like. That was this moment for me when everything switched, because I realized that is so true. Why am I denied of my humanity? Why am I denied of something that is naturally me? That's not fair to me. And throughout my life, I felt like I wasn't allowed to enjoy who I truly am. My weight wasn't right. My height wasn't right. The way I speak, the fact that I curse sometimes, like all of those things, everything about what I like to do, have, and be, I'm not allowed, because there is only one profile, right? No one quite knows what that profile is.
Oh yeah.
But with the help
moving target.
With the help of all of those products, with the help of all of those balms and cosmetic things and procedures and all of that stuff, maybe you will arrive to that profile, and maybe you will become worthy then. It feels like a never-ending race. And no one ever arrives in there. I don't know a single woman who earned sense of self-worth by doing more procedures and using more products. Not a single one in my life. I've never seen someone who said, I'm there.
Now
Now.
I feel so good
This
about
is it.
myself. Yeah.
Approved, fully ready.
Because it's never enough.
Because it's never enough. It's really interesting to look out for those products that perpetuate that self-hatred and that self-disgust, because
Yeah.
what it actually is teaching us is to be disgusted with our own bodies
100%.
and feel like it's just not the way it's supposed to be. But if we look back to the pictures of our grandmothers, of our great-grandmothers, did they think about injecting their
No.
vaginas with fillers?
No. I feel sad for what we're doing for the next generation.
That's
I really do.
That's so bad.
And I would love for the ladies watching this to, in the comments, let us know about the most absurd beauty trend you've ever heard of, because we would love to stay on top of knowing more of these so we can really just put them in the spotlight for what they actually are and break down the conversation and have another episode. I think it would be fun to play with the episodes of Beauty Absurd on a somewhat more regular basis. So please put in the comments below anything that you've seen or heard about. We'll do some research on and come back and talk. We would so appreciate that, because I think that we just need to call BS out on all of this and and laugh about the absurdity of it all, but the extent that we as women have been made to believe we have to go to be beautiful and lovable and fuckable and worthy. I'm so grossed out by it all.
Norms created through repetition.
Yes.
If you repeat something the right amount of times, people will normalize it. And therefore, it's important to build communities where you bash those myths and where you don't let something to get so normalized. So stay
That's
close.
right.
And we will read your comments, and we will definitely create the next video about that. I'm not going to finish this episode with brownies joke.
But why not?
But why not? All right.
So much love if you hung with us all of this time. That was fabulous.
Thank you, ladies.
Yes. Thank you.